The students of Kapiti College have been working for the past 6 months on a documentary raising awareness about dyslexia. They're particularly concerned about the current education system and provision for dyslexic students within this system. The students recognised 3 main goals, and the purpose of this documentary is to highlight these goals and share their experiences of being dyslexic in New Zealand's education system.
Dyslexia is a learning difference affecting at least 1 in 10 people to some degree. It is an alternative way of thinking.
Dyslexic people are very intelligent but have some difficulties with reading, writing, spelling, maths, organisation, short-term memory loss and time management.
These difficulties don't correspond with the person's abilities. Dyslexia also has a positive side, as many dyslexic people have amazing gifts.
Dyslexic people are multi-dimensional thinkers and are creative, intuitive, hands-on learners.
We are a group of students from Kapiti College who want to make a difference to the lives of other students who have dyslexia in New Zealand.
We've made a short documentary to convey our extremely important message that every dyslexic person be given the same opportunity as a non-dyslexic person to be successful and achieve at their full potential.
Literacy is the foundation of all learning. Identifying dyslexia early is critical.
That way, children can be supported to participate in a full range of social and academic learning activities. If dyslexia is incorrectly or not properly addressed, it can lead to disruptive classroom behaviour, alienation, antisocial behaviour, drug use, suicide or crime. Dyslexia was first identified in 1881. The term dyslexia was first used in 1887 by Rudolf Berlin in Germany when treating a young boy who had difficulty reading in spite of having abilities in other areas.
126 years later, the New Zealand government recognised dyslexia for the first time. Yet dyslexia is the most common cause of reading, writing and spelling difficulties. Indeed, 70 to 80% of people with poor reading skills are likely to be dyslexic.
In schools, between 1 in 5 and 1 in 10 students are likely to be affected by dyslexia. That is around 70,000 school-aged children in New Zealand.
In 2009, the Ministry of Education released a document for schools requiring them to accommodate dyslexic students' unique learning differences.
However, still no specific funding has been allocated for teacher training, production of resources and identification for testing dyslexic students.
Much of the real change for dyslexic students is being driven by organisations such as Dyslexic Foundation and SPELL.
As you can see, this issue is very real and needs to be addressed accordingly. The students feel it's important to share their personal experiences in order to emphasise the issues faced by students with dyslexia.
I think I was about 6 or 7.
I was 11 when I found out, so I was still in primary school. Mum took me to a place called Kim McGrath and I got a test, just a little one, and it turns out that I was dyslexic.
I found out that I was dyslexic when I was 11 years old, about like November 2011. I think I was 12.
Well, I try to learn stuff in different ways. I'm definitely doing better at school though.
It's helped that I've told my teachers and I get the extra help I need for English and maths and so on.
I thought I couldn't do anything, but now I know that with strategies that I've learnt, I can do pretty much anything anyone else can do. Well, before I found out I was dyslexic, I used to hide under beds, hide in cupboards, try my very hardest to pretend I'm sick. And now I wake up and go to school, so it is different. And I'm actually enjoying school and I'm enjoying doing schoolwork and hanging out with my friends and stuff, which is really cool.
it was really hard because lots of my teachers just didn't know what to do. They kind of just stuck me by myself because I was disruptive and didn't know how to spell. But then when I was found out, all the teachers just tried to find out as much as they could and just help and give me extra activities. And I went to a primary school where they didn't really know about dyslexia, so I got put in with kids with like anger issues and like found it hard to talk and stuff like that. So I was put in with like, I don't know, it was just really hard because I got viewed differently. But then since I've come here, I've kind of like felt more normal. Like I'm not like the odd one out. There's other people like me.
When I read, the words would fall off the page. They would seriously, line by line, just go off the page and then randomly make it for the door as fast as possible. And so that's kind of hard to read when you have a blank piece of paper in front of you.
Well, I see the rivers in between words, so just white rivers, which kind of stand out more than the actual words.
I get white rivers down the page between the words, and I also see letters all over the walls.
Well, when I read, like, on a white paper, the background kind of turns into a bowl, and these words fall into this bowl, and it looks really weird. But if I read on a coloured piece of paper, it doesn't happen. It kind of just stays all flat and normal.
If there's like a word like dance or something, I'll instantly just see dances and not see the word anymore.
Also, I went on the Davis program and I got this thing called an anchor, which is I've got 2 lines from here and 1 from here that go up to about here, and I put my mind's eye on it, and that sort of, my mind's eye is like my imagination, and that allows me to see what's really in front of me.
Like I've been told from teachers that I'm dumb, I'm never going to succeed in life, I won't pass any of my exams, I'm unteachable, uncopable, the failure in life. But also students can be quite mean as well. I've had students come up to tell me and going, oh, you're the failed one, you're the dumb one, you're the mistake and stuff like that, where they just kind of don't understand.
Yeah.
When I'm writing and stuff, like words in my head don't come in like sentences, like just in a continuous line. They kind of get all kind of jumbled up, and I kind of have to like write everything down on the paper really fast, otherwise I just forget everything straight away.
I reckon it's probably better than Year 9 because everyone's pretty much got the same thing, different but the same, so they kind of understand what it's like because they all live in the same world.
Well, I've gone from like not achieves and cause for concerns to excellence, and last year I got level 1 credits in essays.
Well, last year I wasn't getting very good grades at all. I only like got achieves and not achieves, but this year I've just gotten non-stop excellences, so obviously it has been much better.
I've been talking to my teachers more and now asking them to do certain things that help me, like putting borders around the page and stuff, and learning ways to work with my dyslexia instead of working against it. I think since that I've been really happy and I'm feeling really good and happy.
Okay, so when I was around 7, I was diagnosed with dyslexia, and after being diagnosed with dyslexia, nothing really happened about it. It just went to the back of my mind, and I almost pretty much forgot that I had dyslexia. However, by the time I reached college, I started having lots of difficulties with English, and I felt that I was just dumb. I felt that it was my fault, mostly, that I was failing in English. And then I moved to Kapiti College. In English, the teacher recognised that I had dyslexia, and it was around this time that the teacher put me into Miss Sharp's little classroom, and I found out that it wasn't my fault that I was failing a lot in English. It was mostly the dyslexia. And yeah, I recommend to all students who are struggling a bit with English or any other type of class to go and get it checked, because with English, dyslexia makes a huge, like if you know that you have dyslexia with English, it makes a huge difference.
Dyslexia comes with many gifts, including creativity, imagination and empathy. These gifts are reflected in the following poems, which were composed by the students themselves.
I wrote this poem. Doubt. People telling me who I am and what I'll become. I become whatever I want and who I want. I can become the water so still, so wise, the moon so big, so bright, the stars so light, so white, the black hole so deep, so dark, the galaxy so lost, so found, the eye so weird, so wide.
Okay, this is my poem about being a DY. DY stands for dyslexia. I'm a bad spelling DY. I'm a messy writing DY. I'm a stuck in class, can't understand DY. I'm a getting sidetracked DY. I'm a forget my homework DY. I'm a disorganised mistake making getting nowhere DY. I'm an autocorrect DY. I'm a test failing DY. I'm a drop out of school, get no job DY. But I'm also a fishing DY, a hunting DY. I'm a get my gun and rod, hit the bush DY. I'm a freestyle skiing DY. I'm a wakeboarding DY. I'm a back flipping, misty spinning, trampolining DY. I'm a car racing DY. I'm a jet boating DY. I'm a speed loving, turbo crazy 316 drifty DY. I'm a DY and I'm proud of it.
I'm a person because dyslexic's not dumb. I'm a kid on a journey. I'm ready to explore. I'm dyslexic, not dyspraxic. I'm a perfectionist to the max. I'm full of life, full of fun, ready to get it done. I'm on a mission to achieve my goals. I chase my dreams to the rainbow. Just because I'm dyslexic doesn't mean I'm done. I'm incapable, unteachable, silly, unwanted, you say. But I see myself another way. I'm a football-loving, competitive, baking, camping Kiwi, full-world fun, full and creative kid, hitting the world by storm. But just because I'm dyslexic doesn't mean I'm dumb. I'm the attention hogger, special needs, stuff-up creation, imaginative, star chaser, movie lover, pet-friendly, adrenaline junkie, sky flying, go-kart racing, Kapiti College living, kid with dyslexia. But it doesn't mean I'm dumb. And the second one's called unique. I don't know where I'm going, I just know that I'll go. The words are getting in my head like a rock in the snow. I'm tripping over letters, trying to learn my ABCs. This is life being dyslexic, it's a hard way to be. Sounds are getting louder and the words are getting in my head. My mind's getting hypnotized and I don't know where I'll end. None of this is true, that is what they say. Hard to learn, hard to be great. I don't know why they're looking, I just know they're looking at me. It's like they don't know I have my own identity. I know that I'm small, but I know that I'm not strange. I know that I'm not the smartest, but I know that I'll be great.
The students feel it's very important to have positive role models. Dyslexic people are often very successful as they think outside the square, they're innovative and hard-working. At Kapiti College, several of the teachers were keen to support the students by sharing their own stories.
So it was when we went on an exchange to England in my third form year, and a teacher over there mentioned it as a possibility and kind of gave me a few things that I could do that ended up making a difference. So it was about then that I found out. At primary school I struggled through reading recovery programs and spelling, and had teachers that told me that I would be lucky to get fifth form when I came back. By every year I was at high school, I got an academic award in one or more subjects after being in England for that year, so it made quite a difference.
The biggest thing I learned in England was that I could do things, and part of that was the school put on a course where they taught a different method of spelling, spelling through visual shape of words, and that clicked with me and made it a lot easier for me to learn, especially the simple words that I often got wrong. So yeah, made quite a difference. For me, it's more to read stuff. I have to go really slow and I can only read one line at a time. If it's a big bulk of text, I skip lines and get quite confused where I am. And the order of letters within a word rearrange themselves, and so mess with my spelling.
I guess I have to start with I was doing secondary school. My secondary school started in England. So from the 11 plus exam, which was a major exam that filtered students off into 3 types of school, I did not succeed in that exam, so I got sent to what was called a secondary school. So at that point I was denied the opportunity ever to go to university in England. And part of that was because I was very bad at maths. I was already aware and had been told by teachers that I had no real ability in mathematics at all. The maths teacher I had at 3rd form and at 4th form basically took up the position that I was really stupid and that I would never succeed in maths, and consequently I was just kind of written off as a waste of space. And I don't recall him ever trying to find out what the problem was or whether there even was a problem. It was just like, well, you're obviously very, very thick. I ended up going to university when I was in my 30s. Some of the media stuff in that was statistics. And that caused a great deal of angst because I knew for myself that I was really, really bad at maths. But in the course of talking with some friends, they said, oh, you know, has this been a problem for you for a long time? And I'm like, yes. And they said, oh, you should go and see so-and-so in Palmerston North. So I said, what for? And she said, well, I think there's a condition like dyslexia, but it's around numbers. And sure enough, she came back and she said, you have dyscalculia. And I never heard of it, really. And I thought, oh my goodness, I don't believe this. And for all these years, I've been carrying this belief that I was completely stupid because I couldn't understand mathematics. So I guess that's when I found out more for myself about dyscalculia and dyslexia and dyspraxia. And because I'd gone into teaching, that kind of felt really imperative for me, because I didn't want to make the same damaging mistakes with students that my teachers had done with me. And I was not prepared, and I'm still not prepared under any circumstances, to write students off as stupid, and that's the end of it. It's like there's always a reason why a student might be inhibited from succeeding at the level that they could succeed. And we are still way under-resourced in the sense that we need more assessment teachers in school, people who can do LASIK testing, people who can do dyslexic assessments. We need more support for those students, and we need more education and support for the teachers who are in the classroom. So I think that is where things should go.
I saw Sarah's presentation the other day, and seeing the students describe this experience with their experience with dyslexia, it really resonated with me. Some of the things they described were similar to what I experienced in my education. And seeing this presentation made me realise how important it is that we spread awareness about dyslexia for parents and students alike, so that every student can have the opportunity to succeed.
Support was given to the students by notable New Zealanders, including Sir Peter Leach and Billy Graham, both of whom have had immense success in their own fields. Other famous dyslexics include Sir Richard Taylor, Sir Richard Branson, Albert Einstein, Leonardo da Vinci, Cher, Will Smith, Florence Welsh, Jamie Oliver, Keira Knightley, and Orlando Bloom.
here with Nikita from Kapiti College, and she's going to ask me some questions about my mental state. I suffer from dyslexia. Oh, first of all, I'm Sir Peter Charles Leach, a Knight of the Realm. I was the first butcher in the world to get knighted. She's going to ask me some questions about my dyslexia.
Okay.
Over to you.
How old were you when you first found out you were dyslexic?
Oh mate, I was about, I don't know, 20 or something like that. Yeah. The horse that bolted with me then. I was out working, and I even don't know now how I did find out. Look, the key thing I'd like to tell you all, you mustn't let it stop you from going on out into life. You've got to take the opportunities when they're there. And you know, if I went through life saying, oh look, I can't spell, I can't do this, I can't do that, Christ, I'd still be digging graves, to be fair, because I was a grave digger at one stage. You've got to take the opportunities, and you've got to try to overcome the problems. So dyslexia is not the end of the world. You can make it the end of the world, or you can box on. When you look that I don't know my alphabet or my times table, and when I was at school, I had terrible teachers because they didn't know what dyslexia was, so I was in the lowest class, 4B4, and we had the worst teachers. It wasn't until my last year at school we had a good teacher. Her name was Mrs. Main, and she taught outside the square. And so, you know, I didn't have a lot when I left school. I was pretty dumb, to be fair. There wasn't a lot of opportunities. And so I became a butcher by default. I didn't actually want to be a butcher, but I couldn't get a job. But what I'm living testimony, it doesn't hold you back.
And the education system around dyslexia, what do you think about that?
Well, to be honest, I don't know what it's like now, but in my day it was terrible, terrible. And it's quite funny because Wellington College, when I got knighted, they asked me to come. They wanted to put me in their Hall of Fame. And I said to the lady, Jesus Christ, you didn't want to know me when I was at school. But I think it has changed now because there's more teachers that really care about it.
Action needs to be taken and improvements need to happen within the education system to allow every dyslexic student the best chance of success. If nothing changes, negative consequences will continue for these students.
If nothing changes, then children and teenagers are going to go through school thinking that they're stupid, and eventually may end up dropping out of school, cutting off many career opportunities. This is a dangerous path to take, because it can get people wound up in crime and possibly prison. This can affect families because often parents have grown up with undiagnosed dyslexia, meaning they don't know what kind of support their children need.
At Kapiti College, our philosophy is teach well for dyslexic students and you teach well for everybody. Judging on the experiences the students have shared in this documentary, it's clear to see the difference that accommodating for dyslexia makes, not only academically, but more importantly, in terms of students' self-esteem. Our students would love to see all schools adopting this philosophy, and our 3 goals are directed at achieving this. These goals are crucial steps towards creating an education system that allows all students to achieve their full potential. We hope that this documentary has given you fresh insight into dyslexia and the struggles students face. We also hope it has highlighted the need for change.
Goal 1. Experts have agreed that dyslexics need to be identified early, and appropriate multi-sensory teaching strategies implemented so that every child with dyslexia can succeed. Children need to be identified at an early age before they start to fail. Teach well for dyslexics and you teach well for everyone.
Goal 2. Dyslexia education must be a compulsory part of teacher training. This is essential and is not the case in many teacher training courses at the moment. Teachers need to be educated in order to be the most effective educators they can be. Because too many of our teachers don't know what dyslexia is and don't know how to teach us.
Goal 3. Dyslexic specialists in all school. These would be necessary to facilitate assessments and advise on current best practices.
We would really like the support to give all dyslexic students in New Zealand a fair chance to achieve their full potential.
We need the support of as many people as possible so you can help us in different ways.
Like our Facebook page Dyslexia Action New Zealand. Check out all the information while you're there.
Write to your local MP and our Prime Minister.
Find out more about dyslexia by visiting Dyslexia Foundation New Zealand and Spelled websites. The more people who support us, the more likely a change will come.
Remember, the future is bright, but the doors need to be opened for us.